Okay.
So, we had another week of NFL football, and when we have NFL football, we know we're gonna see some controversy with the whole national anthem protest. And, your favorite president was tweeting again.
I'm already upset.
So basically, I think at this point we understand what's going on. He's pretty much looking forward to every week because he gets to deflect whatever he's not doing in the White House, and he can just focus on the fact that these players are protesting every week. Nobody's talking about the fact that his in-laws just got granted citizenship for the same very chain migration that he was fighting against, but his in-laws just got citizenship, but he's talking about the players.
Oh, well, he's hypocrite number one. That's just his ballgame.
I have a theory, though. He needs to focus more on what he really needs to focus on, our nation, because I have a theory that someone has to, tap on his shoulder every time things happen for him to go on Twitter. Because, I don't get that.
This is his thing, though. I don't think it's
what he is, so he has to do it.
That's what you signed up for.
Someone has to be telling him what to do.
That's what people signed up for when they voted for him. There was no throughout the election process, you knew this is what we were going to get. Yeah. And it's just slowly gotten worse.
It's he's just getting on it for every little thing.
It's getting so much worse.
Yeah.
He has a love affair with sports. He certainly, he's a scorned lover. He wanted to be an NFL owner. That was his end game back in the 80s when he was bought into the USFL, which is now defunct, never worked out. He's still sad about that. All the other NFL owners still kind of clown him because that never really worked out quite the way he thought it was.
This is way
that was his first big toy that got taken away from him.
Yeah.
So he's still upset about it, and he feels like this whole thing, his little power he can wave over the NFL by tweeting and all this is something. But I think it's going to have the opposite effect in the end. I've noticed a lot of, especially a lot of black people, have said they're not going to watch the NFL this year for this whole reason and telling the players don't do this and that and whatever. But I think that's actually the wrong way to protest, actually. But what I don't like is people always tell you the wrong way to protest. They never tell you the right way.
Right.
So what I think is instead of just not going, black people, and not watching the NFL, I think we should just take over Sundays. And I think we should just show up, just everybody roll up, whatever your team is, Raiders, Cowboys, whoever, team colored dashikis.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
hey, just how we was going to the Black Panther movie.
Yes, we need to take that to the NFL. Every time your team gets a first down, we do an African chant. That's what I'm saying.
That's a business plan, though. Somebody should start that business.
Not less black people on Sunday, more black people on Sunday.
Overwhelming.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh.
I am here for it. I will have on my Lions dashiki. Let's do it.
See, that would be no colors.
Full afro. Let's go.
That's what I said. We take it over. Is what I'm saying.
But see, the ironic thing about this whole situation is the fact that the whole national anthem situation was paid patriotism. The NFL was. I'm saying they were paid because back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, the national anthem, all the players were in the locker room. They just started this players coming out and doing the presentation with the flag and the arms and
Well, that is, how do I put this? That is because, well, first of all, what is the military's number one of their biggest budgets is really just for advertisement. So when you factor in that, what is the one thing that people still watch live when everything is Netflixed, everything is recorded, DVR?
Right.
No, not just national, just sports in general.
Just sports,
That's why we all love this so much. Right. It's the one thing we still gather together and watch live. We don't watch the sitcoms live together anymore. That used to be a thing. Hey, you want to come over? I watch Friends. That used to be a thing. We don't do that anymore. Yeah. So now you will come. Hey, you want to watch Chappelle's show? Remember that? That was the last show I think people gathered around.
No. Scandal. They had scandal parties. I wasn't watching it, but I know I worked in the bar back in the day, and they were having scandal parties.
Is not my thing, but I know people do gather like that for Game of Thrones. I'll give them that.
Oh, yes.
I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But other than that, sports is the thing that everybody, advertisers know. Eyes will be here, so they know the military. Hey, come join the army. They know that's a time to put up and do all that, and that's why that's become such a big thing. And if people want to pay attention to all that, they can. But I mean, I don't think that's going to stop anybody from.
But what's crazy? Like I see the backlash and everybody's so offended, but I haven't spoke with not one single vet of the Army, the Navy, the Marine that had any problem.
I was just about to say
with
that.
the protests.
Not at all.
Not one. I know several.
Especially if you meet a vet that's actually been in battle. They're like, look, man, that's what I put my life on the line for. So you could do what you want. So
that is exactly what it is. Yeah.
I see it as if someone's going to kneel for their own purpose, let them do. It's not going to stop paying you. Like,
it's freedom of speech. Like that's what the whole thing is. It's freedom of speech. But then people start to have a problem. Like in America, let's just say what it is when people of color start using their freedom of speech. That's when they start to get mad, and that's wrong. Like you can't. Like someone would say like, if a white person like there were white people doing it, but I'm just saying like it's when people of color start to use their freedom of speech, and then that's when white people come in and are like, wait a second, you can't say that.
This is why we have to roll up with the team color dashikis. You see what I'm saying? We roll up like that. That is going to have a way bigger effect than not going to watch the games, you guys.
Yes,
it's getting to the point.
Talking about team colored djembes, we're in there hitting. We're in there. We're getting it on Sundays. I'm telling you, man.
We need to bring that.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
It's supposed to be equal.
It is
not just rights for certain people. Equal.
You are absolutely right. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you hear about the Bucks and the Dolphins game after the whole kneeling? They had the Dade County Police.
Oh yeah, they were
they're like, and I believe Palm Beach as well, not to buy tickets.
That's crazy.
Wow. What? I was like, are you serious? Like, can people just be happy?
But you know that's political, man.
It is political.
So political,
it's
man.
like I know for sure there's gonna be some cops be like, you know what, you could sit on it. I'm gonna go watch the game.
Yeah, I mean.
But it's getting to that point where they're telling people not to invest in watching the game because of.
Fine, that's less annoying people at the game. Big deal.
I'll put it
the people who don't pay you.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a lifer. I'm a football fanatic. Okay, this past season with all of the stuff going on with the flag and the back and forth, I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched the least amount of NFL games during the 2017 season that I have in my entire life. I didn't even watch a single regular season game the entire season. I didn't watch the games until the playoffs.
Because it's not about the game anymore. It's too much controversy.
Just
enjoy the game. Like,
but I will say I will be watching this year because my favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers. Oh yeah, we just signed one of guy from my alma mater, Jerick McKinnon. We got another guy in the backfield, Matt Breda. But really the real reason, see, out of the 32 owners in the NFL, since the very first time that Colin Kaepernick took the knee, Jed York put his money where his mouth was. He donated $1 million back when whatever, with 2014, 2015, 2015, whenever Colin first started the protests. He backed them up, and he may have did a terrible job with the whole Jim Harbaugh situation, but he was on it when it comes to the protest. And so maybe the other 31 owners don't get it, but Jed York, and I think he is the youngest owner in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, as a Cowboys fan, I don't want to talk about owners' positions on this issue. I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
The Cowboys had that money where they can make things happen. Even if the Cowboys
was that 12 years of Cowboys?
I don't know.
12 years of Cowboys?
I'm coming with my Emmitt Smith dashiki with that deuce on the back.
Well, speaking of the NFL, who do you guys think is the next NFL's big thing?
Well, one of the bigger ones that's blowing up. Matter of fact, he has, I believe, currently the #1 selling jersey in the NFL comes from Jay's team. That would be their new quarterback,
Jimmy Jesus.
Jimmy G. or I don't know if you've seen his goings on in the off season. He has a new street nickname.
Porn star?
Yeah, you know what they're calling him now? That's Jimmy G Spot, baby.
Jimmy G Spot.
That's his name, man.
G Spot, baby.
Okay, this is how you know he hasn't been famous that long. Who takes the paid date to to a restaurant in Beverly Hills. That's for the girl you actually like, dog. Like, what are you doing, Jimmy?
Hey, let me tell you something. The man,
he wasn't Jimmy that night. He was James. You don't get to be
seven starts, and when he got his contract, he was the highest paid player in the NFL.
He was too new for that fame. He was not prepared.
Hey, I mean, come on. He said he came out on a quote and said when he was during practice that he thought he was better than Tom Brady. He's like, I'm better than that guy. I know he's won. I know he's went to 25 Super Bowls.
He's looking
I'm
at
better
him
than that guy
on a daily basis. He's looking at him physically. He's like, this dude is like 38, 39 years old.
Right.
I'm like 24, 25, 26.
Yeah, he got Giselle, but I'm Jimmy Jesus.
Definitely thinks he's better than him.
Right.
He definitely does.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. We were terrible.
And quite honestly, if you were to go to Bill Belichick and say, Bill Belichick, who would you take right now if we could let you flip?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think he might take. I know that sounds crazy.
Oh, Bill always goes young.
Bill might take.
He always goes young.
I know that's what Robert Kraft doesn't want to do.
Nope.
That's their buddy. That's their.
Well, you
thing.
know they said Tom Brady bypassed Bill and went straight to Robert and was like, "Look, man, see these rings? How many you had before me? You want some more? You want some more?
That's.
Are you gonna let Bill keep us from getting these rings?
It's hard to let go of things that once worked so well, like relationships, players, things that are hard, difficult to let that go. So an owner is not going to know. It's kind of time to move on. A successful coach is going to be able to look at things objectively, like a Bill Belichick. He's going to be like, oh, it's time. Maybe.
Well, I mean,
maybe move
can
on.
you blame Robert Kraft though? I mean, Tom's made you a lot.
By the way, Bill Belichick. If you're ever trying to do a Bill Belichick impression, you just do Norm Macdonald doing a Bob Dole impression from 1995. It's like the players on Sunday. The game was good. The wide receivers. Yep, catch. That's basically how you do a Bill Belichick impression. That's how it goes.
Man, all I'm saying is Jimmy, he might be the MVP this year, brother. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Look, San Francisco went from being the first or second pick in the draft before Jimmy to you insert Jimmy with 3 weeks of learning. He didn't even know the playbook. They were telling him he didn't even know half the plays in the playbook. And the man went 5-0. 5-0.
I think
1-10, 5-0.
What's going to hold him back just statistically? Oh no, I'm not saying they aren't going to have a good year. I'm talking about in order to win MVP, you got to put up a little bit of numbers. I don't know if he has the receiving talent on that team quite yet.
I'm gonna be honest
to put
with
up
you,
those sort of numbers.
They don't have like that marquee. They don't have like a Julio
but
or
even
Antonio.
for Brady, the numbers, the big stats didn't show up until Edelman, Moss, those guys showed up.
Right.
And then Gronkowski later
you mean
on.
and the rule change?
Well, yeah, that helps. But the numbers didn't show up till then. So when you get the players around you, that's when the numbers show up. Can you win before then? Yes. Do I think the 49ers are going to be a competitive football team? Oh, very much so. Do I think they're going to necessarily be, 12-4 or anything like that?
I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't know about all that.
It's going to come down to the injuries because the injury bug has already hit us. But I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I like our chances to win that division, especially as long as Aaron Donald here in LA is holding out. Every game he holds out, our chances get that much better. I'm going to be honest with you.
That Rams team is really loaded.
Yeah, but they're not the same team without Aaron Donald. Would you agree?
I feel wrong if I don't say I'm going for the Patriots.
I know that's Miss Dawson over here. We still have our.
I just had to throw that in there.
She's Red Sox all day. I'm Yankees all day, so we still have our beef.
I mean, who won recently?
Hey, it's
I'm just
true.
saying.
It's true. I mean, the Red Sox, y'all are made out of the same thing when Wolverine is made out, adamantium or whatever, because y'all have not lost a game in like a month and a half. I don't know what the heck is wrong with y'all. Y'all are balling out of control.
You're welcome.
So who else do y'all think is the next big thing in NFL besides
Jimmy
Jesus?
Jimmy Jesus.
Besides Jimmy G,
Saquon, boy, Saquon looked awesome. But I mean, I don't know. I was really. I know he's probably not going to play a ton this year, if at all, because he's behind Flacco. But I really liked. I like what Lamar Jackson looked like, man. I really did. I thought his speed translated. He's a year away from probably being there as a passer. I know he was under 50%, 7 of 18 on the other day during the game. But I thought his speed translated, which is a big step for a running quarterback. Once you get to the NFL, sometimes they get to the NFL, they're not quite as fast against the NFL players. And he looked every bit as fast, every bit as quick. He hit a man with a mean juke down inside the red zone there for a touchdown. Like a Barry Sanders.
Oh, it was wonderful. Oh, it was ugly. broke somebody's ankles for a TD. So I think maybe a year or two from now, we're going to be talking about him making some exciting plays. Maybe sooner if things don't go right for the worse things go for the Ravens, the more likely you are to see Lamar Jackson this season.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, they say Leonard Fournette is down to 222 this year. He played at 240 last year.
Really?
He's at the same weight he was his sophomore year at LSU.
I'm always skeptical of when a big back loses a bunch of weight. I never know how that's going to translate, really. The only back that I can recall who was a bigger guy who cut weight and kept it going was, people don't think of this player this way because he's such an elusive back, and we think of him in a lot of ways as one of the best backs, if not the best back, is actually Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, when he came out of Michigan State,
he was 240.
240. He plays at about similar weight to what you said Fournette is.
Speaking of Le'Veon, I mean, is he going to get paid or what?
I don't think so.
You know what's crazy? Like, the NFL teams, they have zero issues with asking a player to restructure their contracts when they're not performing. But the moment a player outperforms their contract, it's like...
It's not even necessarily the outperform. That's why they don't want to pay him.
I heard we had a trivia question that we're going to do.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I heard you have a question for us.
Oh, yeah. So, the question is, which NFL team has drafted the most quarterbacks? I'll repeat the question.
Quarterback?
Which NFL franchise has drafted the most quarterbacks? Not just first round, it's rounds, period. Just drafted the most quarterbacks. Period.
I have somebody that says Cleveland.
Cleveland? That's a good guess. I can see why they would think that, but the answer is...
So sorry, Dre with Chains 06. Cleveland is the wrong answer.
All right.
Gotta try again.
You got.
This is for everybody.
Nothing yet.
Guys,
I
what
feel like everybody's eating
NFL
dinner right
team
now or
has
something?
used the most draft picks on quarterbacks? Tell me that. Which NFL team has
in
used
the history?
most?
Think comprehensive.
In the history.
Not just the last 10 years. In the history.
My dad's whole side of the family's from Long Island, New York. I heard a lot of cuss words over the years about quarterbacks from this team. I'm going to say the New York Jets.
Ooh.
I just want to say Patriots.
Possibly.
Nah, you guys remember, you haven't picked a lot in the last 20 years.
How long before I say yay or nay? How long do I have? Yay or nay? Huh?
I have someone who says Cincinnati.
Cincinnati? Ooh, I can see why they would think that too. These are some good answers, but the answer is...
And nope, so no for Cincinnati. Sorry.
Cool.
All right. We're gonna go going once.
Which NFL team has used the most draft picks on quarterbacks? Somebody tell me.
Going.
Let me know now.
Nice.
Which NFL team has used the most draft picks on quarterbacks? Y'all got like 10 seconds to answer. Come on.
Oh, damn. I didn't know we had a budget for that.
We are lit up in this studio right now. What a good news, baby. I'm just from the poorest part.
All right, I'm dying to know.
All right,
I'm dying
so the
to know.
answer is... What were you getting ready to say, Logan?
I got nothing, man.
Nah, you was touching on something.
Oh, the Jets you talking about?
New York Jets.
That was the Jets?
The Jets.
Yes.
Wow.
I've heard years and years of aunts and uncles screaming at television, so I knew it had to be the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Has it worked out for them?
No. Speaking of next big thing, and being that we're in such close vicinity to USC, they did just draft Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Looked
He's
damn
looking
good
great.
in that
Looked
play.
very good. He was moving around. He was making throws on the run. He was looking very, very, very Sam Darnold-y.
yeah, he looked a lot better than he did in Ohio State game.
Yeah, well, this is a little different. I think he's got better offensive coaching. I have my indifferences with Clay Helton and his whole thing. I'm a USC guy because I'm from LA, but there's things left to be desired, I feel, about some of his offensive
I'll be
play
honest
calling.
with you, man. I like Todd Bowles, man. You know what I'm saying? And not just because he's a black coach.
No.
It might have a little something to do with it. But I'm just saying, I really...
I think Todd Bowles is good.
I think he's a solid coach, man.
You look at where he took them. I think they did pretty well, decently.
He went to the playoffs his first year, didn't he?
With really no offensive talent to speak of. So, that's not a bad coach, no.
Yeah, so I think
But Clay Helton at USC, you got to perform this year, bro.
Tom can't play forever, so somebody's got to be the the next guy in that division to take over. I'm just saying.
Or Candy.
Why can't Tom play forever? Sorry, I'm a little overprotective.
All right, speaking of football, let's talk about the fantasy of it. Fantasy football, guys.
Ooh.
Oh, Lord.
Anybody play fantasy here other than myself?
Man.
I stopped when Calvin Johnson retired, so
I can understand. That's devastating. I used to love Megatron.
I'll be honest with you, man. People, I used to play, but people have been trying to get me to do that for years.
You know what?
And it's
I get too invested.
I can't enjoy the game because I'm worried about all this other stuff.
I get motherly.
I've heard people say what Jay's speaking about before. There are some people who have this theory that it's harder to enjoy the game just from a pure sports standpoint if you're involved in fantasy.
Yeah.
Because it will occasionally turn you into like a horrible person. I'll be sitting there, a guy will like be down on the ground from like the team I'm playing against.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, stay down. I'm like a horrible person. That's horrible. It's somebody's child on the ground. I'm like, don't get up. Like whoa. Like,
I had people, they were like trying to conspire against me because I had a good amount of players last time I played my Final Fantasy. They're like, do you still want this person? You want to trade him? And I was like, they're benched for the moment, but they might come back. So they're going to try to get it from me. And it's too overwhelming for me.
Man, these are people. They're real people.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, but okay. It's you would like it, Jay. It sounds all daunting and weird if you've never done it. If you're a newbie to fantasy, but it's really it's statistic based. Usually, most leagues are like 10 yards per point. It's very easy to follow along, even for a
you
novice.
gotta just keep up.
Man, I still got homeboys that's in the league. So I'm gonna be like, man, how you doing, man? How's the family, man? Hey, man.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna need you to get 3 more touchdowns. Bro.
Oh no.
You're messing me up, man.
Any
Come on, man.
player
Me money,
in any
bro.
sport that has fantasy hates when you bring up fantasy to them. They vehemently hate that. There's occasionally you'll meet some people who are like tuned into fantasy, and it's like fun to have those players. Like I don't know if you remember this name. Remember Sean Alexander for the Seahawks back in the day, number 37?
Yeah.
He used to openly say like, I'm gonna try and score you guys a touchdown this week, and he would like literally score a lot of touchdowns. He was known for that.
Okay.
So as a fantasy owner, that was like very comforting. This guy understands like, don't fall down at the one, bro.
Well, I'm sure
like,
Marshall Falk probably made a lot of people money because he was.
Oh, Marshall Falk was like one of the OG fantasy beasts. But
that
no.
can be good. It can be like a challenge to make you like push harder if you're on somebody's fantasy team.
Oh yeah, especially if you like, let's say you're not even up on like football, NFL, whatever. It's a very quick way to get up on who is good, who is
you gotta
this,
keep
who is
up,
that,
make sure
who plays a
injuries
lot,
and
who's
things like
hurt.
that.
Yeah.
And see, I think I don't do it because I'm so knowledgeable about it. It's gonna like instead of enjoying the game, I'm gonna be more focused on stats and completion percentages.
You think you would, but
I know I would.
Sometimes if you take it too far, that's the worst thing you
But
can
that's
do.
what I'm
Overthinking.
saying. I'm an Aries, bro. I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Fantasy
do
football
it.
is one of those sports where like it's good for couples. You can like it's one of those things where like whoever's not the one up on football in the relationship, the other one can totally beat you at fantasy that week, and like it's very fun to talk about that all week with your significant other.
Interesting.
Yeah, so let's get into it. If you haven't ever done it before, I say 2018, go for it. It might be a fun year.
I'll try
You should try it.
Let's
We
do
should do it as a podcast. We should do one.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Invested.
Yeah. No, anyways, though,
Peterson and his issues.
oh well, you know,
That messed me up.
Adrian Peterson, he ain't even in the league no more. Like, but this time of year, everybody's getting ready for their fantasy drafts and stuff. So what people like to talk about is like sleepers and just a couple people that maybe like market inefficiencies. Let's call them that. Maybe some rookies that people haven't heard of in new situations. So one of the guys I wanted to spotlight, at least for this week, is actually looks like he's going to be the Denver Broncos starting running back out of Oregon. He wears number 37. Royce Freeman. Bigger back. Got a ton of work in college. So some people think that's a negative. I don't think that is. I think that's a signal that they're going to use him sooner rather than later. And I think he's going to be the bell cow right away. So I think you're looking at from Royce Freeman a situation where he's going to be getting upwards of 240 to 250 carries, which for a rookie is very rare. So as a fantasy owner, I believe he's going average draft position about 5th round right now. So if you can get him 5th round, you're looking at a 2nd, 3rd round value if everything works out. So I think Royce Freeman out of Oregon for the Denver Broncos is my fantasy sleeper of the week.
Okay, well I don't play fantasy, but since you took it there,
yeah, get Royce Freeman.
Let's talk about a guy from my alma mater, Georgia Southern, GATA in the house. Jerick McKinnon, free agent running back. He was, third down all-purpose back for the Minnesota Vikings. He's switching over to the San Francisco 49ers. Everybody knows what Shanahan did with Dante Freeman in Atlanta. And actually, Jerick and Dante were in the same draft class, 2014. Jerick blew up the combine, 4.41, 30-plus reps on the 225 bench, 40 inch vertically. So everybody knows he's an athlete, you know what I'm saying? So it's just about opportunities in Minnesota that kind of underachieved offensively until this past season. The offensive line wasn't one of the best in the league, but now you put him in that Kyle Shanahan offense, that outside zone running game. He's gonna get a good, probably about 16 to 20 touches a game. He's probably gonna run the ball about 14, 16 times.
Just know I'm writing this down for my fantasy. I'm
taking
all y'all.
Take notes. He's gonna get at least 4 or 5 receptions a game because no linebacker, no safety is covering. You're probably gonna have to cover him with at least a slot cornerback or a nickel guy. So that's my if I was to decide that I wanted to participate in the
we all in choice.
Yeah.
Who you got, Carl?
I think everybody should just give a quick prediction how you think your team is going to do this year. Like how do you feel?
Okay, well, my team left my city, so
who was that, Carl?
That would be the St. Louis Rams.
Oh, awkward when your ex moves to your new city.
No, it really did freak me out though when it came to be. They were like, oh yeah, they're going back to Los Angeles, and I was like,
well, that's a good thing.
For a second I was like, oh shit, I'm back home. Oh no, I'm not. I'm good. I'm still in Los Angeles because
So you have no love for the Rams now?
I do now.
You've accepted it.
I think I'm happier that they're in Los Angeles. Like back when I was in St. Louis, I feel like the fans. I'm going to call out my city, but I feel like the fans were kind of fake. Like, they really only watched football, the Rams, just because it was, the team in the city, as opposed to the real love of the game. So, the stadiums were never... Nobody was like, yo, we're going to see a Rams game. Like,
hold on, even with Marshall Falk and the Greatest Show on Tour?
Back in the day, yeah. Okay. Back in the day, yeah. In the last few years, not at all. Okay. I don't think anybody's really been... there's a few people that I know that are like big Rams fans, and when they moved and St. Louis found out, everybody was like, wait, how could you take our team? And I was like, you guys haven't been to a Rams game in 3 years. So don't act like you care.
St. Louis is notoriously like a baseball town. That's like
Cardinals all the way. 100%. Yeah. That's mostly what it is.
You got the hockey team too, like the Blues, right?
Yeah. It's Cardinals and Blues. They don't care about it. That's why I was like, you guys don't care. Don't act like you care. So I'm happy that they're here, because now I'm like, okay.
But they came from here. They should have never left here in the first place.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That's a long, convoluted story. I'm glad Stan Kroenke brought him back. I think that's gonna be awesome. So good luck to, I guess, your Rams. I guess. Yeah.
Yes. Let's call them my Rams.
Okay.
I'm going. Yeah.
Said she's back on.
I'm back on board. I'm on board.
How about you, Jessica, with the Lions?
You know what? Like I said, the Lions have not been the same for me since Calvin Johnson retired. I still have this bitter taste in my mouth.
You have to move on, though,
I have to move on. I have to find a new team this year.
Yes.
I have to find a new team.
We got to get back on Bumble.
Come on, man. Stafford, though.
On Bumble.
Stafford.
NFL teams on Bumble.
Patriots. You got little baby Belichick. You got baby Belichick, the New England defensive coordinator just came over there.
That's right. They got Matt Patricia with the beard and the pencil and stuff.
Yeah.
I still don't think he writes with that pencil in his ear. I think he's just rocking.
I think he's flexing.
For balance. Yeah.
It's for balance.
That's funny.
Well, this is way off topic, but since we're in the NFL, have you guys heard about that? It's actually going to be guys as dancers for the NFL teams?
Yes, and I love it.
I'm so excited.
What?
I'm here for it. Wait, why too soon? What is it?
Nothing. What Jay's saying.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing.
I'm just going to say.
I didn't say
anything. Awesome.
I didn't say anything.
Because it gives, especially younger men, there's male cheerleaders in high school and college. So it's
there's always been male cheerleaders everywhere.
So now
it's
getting serious. I read a story where this mother showed one of the dancers' auditions to her son. And that actually it gave her son motivation. Yeah. He's motivated to try out. He's like, oh, now there's a possibility. And it's just okay, you guys might seem think it's too soon, but I think it's starting to change. And
exactly.
It's going to,
You got to start somewhere.
And it's positive in a way where it's influencing the young minds that like they don't feel limited in that aspect.
So how do you think that real NFL manly man fans are going to feel about seeing a guy?
They'll be mad, but you know, everybody starts mad, and then they adjust, adapt, and get with it.
You get used to it. Yeah. Soon it's going to become a thing where like there's no question anymore. You're not going to be questioning whether or not men can try out for, you know, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Like, we'll get to that point where it's just normal. Like, men, and that's what happened. Like, I feel like in my high school, at first, like, I used to cheer, and when I did cheer, we didn't have male cheerleaders. Mm-hmm. And then when my junior and senior year, they started bringing in male cheerleaders, and all of a sudden it just became normal. And everybody else around was like, oh shit, I can cheer? Like, that's cool if I do that? Like, I don't look weird? And we were like, no. You actually look great out there, and you can do exactly what I can do.
And they can lift them cheerleaders.
Oh my God. Those are the best stunts you've ever seen when a man's on the...
I understand, and I respect both of your perspectives. I understand everything you're coming from. But I just think the timing is a little suspicious.
But don't you think
Jay, I don't think
it's a distraction?
I don't think you guys are realizing that the ladies, what were they complaining about last year, the female cheerleaders? You heard several teams were complaining, not about injuries, but about pay. They were saying, we don't get paid enough. We get paid like no money per game. I think they have leveled up on us. These cheerleaders, they got very smart. They said, what is the way to up our pay? Get some men in here. I think they realized it. Yes.
I think their routines are going to get serious.
Let some men in. They're going to pay them more. Okay. We all get paid more. The cheerleaders
they're going to get paid more. They're going to show up more, though.
You're going to start paying attention. You're going to start paying attention to the... I
never really even...
Okay.
I never even noticed the cheerleaders, honestly. Like,
that's what I'm saying. But I feel like
they're going to have the ability to really go all out, because it's not going to be like, oh, little dance, back.
You don't see in professional cheer. You don't see like teams full of just women. You see men and women, because that's what makes the cheerleader. She said little dance, but you see the same.
I'm like, do my dance, and that's my time. Like, no.
Well, I feel like since us as women are supportive of men coming in and being cheerleaders, I think men should be more supportive of women's sports and things that women are doing, because they never support that, and they never push for women to be.
I love women's track.
Well,
how about women's wrestling?
Well, okay.
I like that too.
That transitions.
Women's MMA.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do.
That is cool.
No, but speaking on women's wrestling, I don't know why, but this whole 2018, I used to be big into wrestling when I was younger. I started for some reason watching more and more wrestling this year, which is an instant signal that I'm single. Other than that, I've been really into it. Yeah, right. I've been into it a lot more this year. And the WWE just announced October 28th in Long Island, New York. They're actually going to be having, for the first time ever, their first ever women's only pay-per-view event.
What?
So no male matches.
I think that's going to be hot.
All women.
All women. Wow. No men.
So many viewers.
And I just started watching a show on Netflix called Glow, and it's like, I love it. It's like, so
WWE, they have this new, really, really amazing. I think she's very talented. Brand new, younger black female wrestler. Her name is Ember Moon. Ember Moon. I think she's awesome. She wears a bunch of orange stuff. She goes by Ember Moon.
Orange stuff. Okay.
I think she's sick. She be flipping and kicking and crazy stuff off the ropes. I think she's tight. Yeah.
And I was a big China fan, like back when.
Oh my God, I haven't heard the name China in so long.
I know it's been a while, but that was when wrestling was like really. It was so popular. It was good.
Right? She died?
No.
China? No, she died.
She did.
She was an actress, right?
She did acting too.
Yeah, no, she died.
She passed away.
Damn.
Was that a Mandela effect? I really didn't think she did.
Yeah.
She was on a reality TV show, I believe.
Terrible.
Yeah, she was.
I can't remember her name.
God took China and left us with Black China. It's terrible.
Now.
Touche.
All lost.
Can we trade? I'd like to trade.
So, man, what's up with the big three, though?
Yo.
I'm feeling it.
Big three for season 2, I got to say because I was at the LA game last year before they went into the finals in Vegas, and how, Ice Cube being the co-founder for Big 3 and everything, how he was like, I'm going to start this. Last year he started it. Great. But when I didn't expect the amount of people and excitement when I was at the LA game. It was like insane. And then seeing how much has grown from one season to the second season.
They signed every retired prominent name in the NBA that's retired in the last 3-5 years. They got Kenyon Martin.
They have
Chauncey Billups.
Everybody.
Steven Jackson. They got half the ESPN basketball analysts are hooping with Q.
Yo, I remember how excited everyone got for the season 2 draft.
Really? Is AI still in the league? Is he still playing?
I don't know if he's playing.
Is he coming back?
I think he's there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of controversy last year.
Come on, Bubba Chuck.
There was a lot of controversy last year with him. I'm not gonna.
It was hard to get Iverson to show up in his prime. You're gonna ask him to show up now when he was
not showing up a lot last year.
We talking about practice?
He would just like come in and roll out. He was just
he showed up to the casinos in Detroit. I know that personally. He showed up there on time every night. He showed up at the craps table.
Iverson would show up for that. I guarantee you that.
He most likely did go to the Vegas final.
Oh yeah,
hey man. Hey, I hate to do this to my sister, man, but I got a testimonial to share. So it was a couple years ago in Atlanta. We were at the Wet Willie's. I don't remember what 2010, 2011, and me and my homeboy was at the bar, chilling. My sister was happened to be with us. She went to the bathroom. She came back, and there was a couple females over at the bar. We were all chit chatting, and next thing I know, the attention left me and my homeboy, and they went over to their left, our right, and I'm like, what? We had all of this attention, and all of a sudden, nobody's looking at us. And when I look, it's AI. And then, hold up, AI is talking to somebody. I'm like, oh no. Oh no, he's talking to my sister. And I'm like, oh no. And all I see is, like, my sister is just sitting up here with her head down, and AI just whispering in the ear. And I'm just like, all I'm thinking is like, hurry up and get your ass over here now. Now.
You gave her that look.
You should have just walked up and grabbed her.
So she comes over, and and then the little chicks over here had no low key to be hate. I'm like, hold up now, chill out. That's my sister now. Be none of that shade going on over here. So she comes over, and about 5 minutes later, next thing I know, he always had a little entourage. So this little dude comes over, hey man, Bubba want to take you through a helicopter ride through the city. Helicopter ride through the city, man. She's good.
I'm good, love and joy.
She don't need to see the city.
Ain't going to do no helicopter rides through no city.
She's good through her own window.
Because first of all, what I was reading in the papers, hey, I don't know if you can afford a helicopter ride through. He was going through a
We got the Reebok contract for life. Hey, good. Hey,
you got to pay that mortgage.
Pocket straight.
Real.
Well, I do think that this season, it's close because he's on Three's Company. And, the finals are coming up in Brooklyn, just saying. And I honestly think, even though he's, a little not consistent, I think his team's going to do good.
Who else is on the team for AI?
For that one in Three's Company, there's DeMar Johnson as co-captain. We got Andre Owens, Mike Sweetney, and Ruben Patterson.
Wow.
Well, one thing I do like about the Big Three is that we have a nice...
That Ruben Patterson, Kobe stopper? Sorry, this is how you know I'm from LA, because I still remember Ruben Patterson.
He was on with Portland, right?
Yeah, he was on Portland.
He was the first Kobe stopper, too.
There was this intro to a game. This was burned in my mind as a Los Angelino, where this is when Chick Hearn was still doing the games, where Ruben Patterson, Chick Hearn's like, here comes Ruben Patterson. They call him the Kobe stopper. And they did this intro where this is now fat. I have 19 babies. Sean Kemp rolls up.
Oh, and not
Sean
that one.
Kemp.
Sean
Kemp. Now I'm just getting the money on the Blazers. Sean Kemp. No longer the Rain Man. Sean Kemp. I'm just here. Sean Kemp walks up to Ruben Patterson as he's putting on his sneakers, starts like rubbing on his legs or something, and like hovering over his legs, like doing like this or something, and goes, Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper. That game, I swear to God, Kobe hit him for like 45 or some shit. Like, I'm telling you. ever since that game, that was my funniest moment watching just a regular season Laker game. Was the Ruben Patterson Kobe Stopper intro? I'll never forget that. Thank you, Leslie. That's back up for me. I'm like, that Ruben Patterson.
So I'm assuming you're gonna go for Three's Company.
Yeah, I ain't down with Ruben Patterson.
Well, me as a woman, I have to go for power because Nancy Lieberman, they have a women's coach in there, and she is doing the damn thing.
I'm just saying, I have a theory already.
Let's hear.
You know, she's from Brooklyn. The finals are in Brooklyn, and I need my power team to win in Brooklyn. And I just think the connections, it's a sign. I don't know, but I've been following Power mainly because of her, because it's just like, this is a new type of league, and she's coming in like, she's already making Power one of the tops. They're ranked 1, and it's just like, oh, she's just awesome. And she has her resume though.
When we do it, okay?
Yes.
Put a woman in charge and let's see what happens.
Look, rank number 1. She's like, I'm here. You won. Thank you.
Man, I don't know, man. The killer threes roster. I mean, we got Chauncey Billups, Steve
I'm
Jackson,
here for Chauncey Billups,
Reggie
of course.
Evans, Larry Hughes, Brian Cook. Got Charles Oakley as the coach. Man, that's a mean squad right there.
I'm just saying Power.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of both. I have to do Power because of Nancy, but you know, Chauncey Billups. I'm a Detroit fan, so
that's your backup.
Got to do it. Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, we.